So there's 10 of us today, and that's nice. If there's 2 or 3, there might as well be 10, depends how many we can fit in the car. So it's nice to have 10. And of course, yeah, leave her alone. We're having a self-control issue today with the dogs, and also that energy is in the people. I don't know if it's today, for some reason. So control issue with the dog is we've got a full male. He's pretty charged up. We haven't seen him for, I don't know, a couple of weeks or something. Excuse me. And I have a neutered female, but she does... Sorry. Boy. She shares a residence at mine with 2 unneutered females, so I think the smell of them is on her. So he's struggling to not pester her, and I need to remind him, you know, out of respect for her. She's telling him, you heard a second ago the woof. So when I hear that, I've got a dog I need to back up, in so much as they're saying, Cloud, I need help. So then I tell him, and then he's like, oh, okay. So we've had that on this walk. I could put him on lead so he can't do it. But then, what am I doing? Instead of having the relationship with him where I'm requesting that he control his own desire and nature, and then him responding to it, what I would be doing is putting some tension on him via a lead in order to block him from physically getting to her. Now that tension would go into me as well, so I wouldn't be able to amble along nicely, or even on the very slidey bits I wouldn't be able to concentrate on walking even. So it's really important for me, with the dogs I'm with, that they're not on lead, unless I want them to pull me up a hill. There's always a good reason to put a dog on a lead and have a bit of tension, but it's only to help you get up a hill, you know, and then it's lead off, get on with what you want to do. So, you know, there's the element of trust and respect in question when we're talking about control over dogs. Do you have the trust and respect? Milo, it's enough. The trust and respect to handle it in a natural way, or do you not have the trust and respect and you handle it in any old way that makes it work for you from a psychological or logical solution rather than the natural? That is enough. So I tell him, and then I stand, he stays where he is looking at me, and she goes behind me, and we're both reminding him she's not interested. So, you know, he's young, so when he learns this is great. And while he's learning it, we're all supporting. You know, no one's having a falling out, no one's got any stress, no one's got any leads on, not required. So, yeah, he gets a chance to learn. My girl gets to... don't forget, I've had a year, and she was very nervous still of people because of her very first initial experience, though I don't really know what that is. But the fact that she's over those issues is the important thing. We always look to balance, not to what the trauma is. We don't live in the past when we're dogs learning and getting into our balance, or back into balance, back into harmony with ourselves and nature. There is no past, there's only the present, and we're looking, or I'm looking to the future for these guys to have a good present moment in all of their moments, and you know, really they do, and then I do too, which is great. And going back to the control issue, so we've discussed it with the dog who has the control issue today, and he's right now, I've got her there. Now he is, I don't know if you can see him there. Okay, so he's now doing his own thing with another couple of other dogs. So they've formed their own little adventure pod. But he's not hassling her. So, no dramas, no tension. It's fixed with trust, respect, and tediously her and I keep telling him in a respectful way, not an angry way. We don't want to wind him up. We want him to calm down. So we're firm and decisive. That's as far as the control's going to go. So, the human control. While I was out with these 9 dogs and myself being the 10th pack member, there was a dog with 2 people out in front. Everyone's off lead. I'm like, cool. 2 or 3 start to move up because they've now got eye contact. They move in to, go and do the sniffing thing. As the 4th dog goes, I'm like, no, take your time. Go one at a time, chill out. And dogs slow up. So as the 4th one is approaching, 1st and 2nd are done sniffing. Now, those people stopped walking and looked at all these dogs. I'm afraid to say, not because they were in awe of the splendour of, them as a great... Jasmine! Wait. So, we've got another one who's now employing self-control. This way. So she knows where there's a food supply in so much as bins. And it's that way. And we're not going that way, we're going this way. And there she is, little black and white one. She was stalling at the gate, looking under it as if like, I'm going in a minute. So I'm like, no, you're not. We're all going this way. She's cool with that. So, the dog control issues aren't really issues, are they? We keep solving those, it seems, quite easily. However, going back to the human control issue, the 2 people stop walking, so that's the energy static. Out of there. She has gone. Right where she's not meant to go. So I'm going to see how long it takes her to come out of there and do nothing. She needs to rejoin us on her own now so that she learns. As long as no one else follows her and goes in, then we've got the biggest power, being the pack all staying together. So we're all going to wait for her to come out. So, the people stop. So now there's a block in the energy. For some reason, the flow now isn't flowing. So we all feel that, but my lot and me, we carry our own energy. We're going to keep moving forward. That's feet and mind, in a positive direction, confident direction. Here she is. Come on then. Cheeky girl. Good girl. So she had to learn a lesson there. No one followed. She ended up crossing a boundary which I'd objected to. So everything went quiet. There was no forward movement, no energy with her. She found, as she went to where she went to go and sniff, that she didn't have this, body of flow, energy flow around her. And so that's when she feels, or in a human, you go, oh, I feel on my own. And then you go back to... the pack. So, see, nature knows what to do. Naturally, if we take the time to respond in a natural way, we can all get on and have no dramas. And if dramas come upon us, then we are able to find the solutions required to overcome those and continue to move on. That's what the human brain's for. Not for following instructions, although that's pretty good for Lego. We've got 2 runaway dogs now. I'm going to see what mine do. A guy's really just shouting. We've got 2 legging it down here. Okay, so mine have stopped. They are runaway dogs. They won't go back. They will now because mine have sent them off. Don't know if you can see in the distance. Well, he's pleased. He's got his dogs back. Oh dear. It might get noisy. So we're going to wrap this up. So, human control issue. In the story that I was reporting a little while ago, when the two people stopped, the lady said, "Can you control your dogs, please?" Now, as she started to say that sentence, which I've heard it 1,000 times, and I'm really not going to have that kind of interaction with a person. It's not respectful, and it's showing complete mistrust. That's judgment and an error of judgment. So as she started that sentence, I called 2 dogs by name who immediately came back. And then the one had gone back already. 4 hadn't gone at all, because they could see, we have to do an avoidance, and now the pack is going to, slow down the flow. We're going to stop. We're going to relax because these people are stressing. And as she turned to look to check that I'd got my dogs under control, because I had not responded to her with, "Oh, sorry," because I'm not going to. I've nothing to be sorry for, and neither of these dogs, nothing's happened except her dog put his tail between its legs, started skittering around. You know why? Because it hasn't been allowed to have a social normal meeting with dogs. Every time dogs come up, the 2 people get stiff, their energy stops, and that poor dog is like, "I don't know what to do." So that's not our fault. And do you know what? It actually is their fault. And I don't going, "You're treating your dog bad." I don't judge. I clock it in my mind and I wish them well. Because that kind of person, if you're going to challenge their belief system when they're so defensive in the beginning, you're going to end up in a fight. And I don't fight. I will deal with, and I will, like I did, I dealt with it. By the time she looked back, there was one dog standing, a little tiny fluffy one, looking at me with his eyes wide. I went, "Oh, you're stressed out, just come here." And he trotted over to me. He was stressed by the people. So, look, I was just chilling out. No stress. So, yeah, the control issue, this is down to people to sort out for themselves. No one can control someone else, because that would be a control issue in itself, wouldn't it? And it's difficult to invite somebody to deal with a control issue, because there's a lot of defensiveness there, especially when they're quite old, because they've already run that program mentally for so long. It feels comfortable. I mean, it's not. It's terribly disruptive. When I think about, it's so chilled out. We've got birds just like flying past my head now. See, that's when you're in harmony with nature, not upsetting anything. We're just, part of it. It's beautiful. The energy is beautiful. This is it. This is nature. Hang out. We hang out. We mind our own business. I mean, our own business is our own business. We all have a different thing that we want to do while we're out here. But generally, we just want to share a harmonised scenario in the now. So, for the new year, or for 2024, I sincerely desire and hope that people can deal with their control issues, their lack of self-control, and also their desire to control the outside world around them, other people, dogs, children, whatever it may be. Can they stop trying to control the outside world to suit themselves and expecting the outside world to happily be controlled by them? They're the ones with the control issue. Not dogs, not kids, not me, not those of us that are, just we know what we're doing. We don't need telling, and when we're told the exact opposite of what the right thing to do is. It's so hypocritical and bloody typical of a species which, because it has a bigger brain, makes an assumption. Some of them that are lacking in heart, I have to say, will make an assumption that they're clever because they have a bigger brain, and if they're stronger, more powerful, they have more rights, or they are entitled to, you know, trample someone else's rights. No one has rights over nature, you know. If you're going to get a gift from nature, you're going to do what we're doing, and you're going to respect it, you're going to trust it, you're going to sit in it, be in it, love it, embrace it, be at one with it. It'll be happy, I'm happy, you'd be happy, all the dogs would be happy. There's no not happy. So yeah, 2024, really, we have got to accept that the only issue in this world is not anything that's natural. It's all adult generated, adult mentality, psychology, control issues. You know, kids that end up growing up feeling controlled, they become yes mummy, no mummy, okay mummy. You know, what's going to happen with them? Are they going to have like a high-vis jacket on by the time they're 19 and promised a life in service to a service that's actually not really serving anyone? Whew. So let's be mindful of our desire to control. I have a desire to take responsibility, and when I issue any control at all, it's because that is necessary in order to take full responsibility. If I want to stop a dog going through a gate, then for that a good reason, I have to stop the dog going through a gate. If I have to stop a child running across the road for a good reason, I'm going to stop the child running across the road. I'm not going to be offensive, defensive, or angry. I just do it and we're happy. There's no drama. You cold? Yeah, it's time to go. So yeah, I'm going to just wait a couple of seconds because I've heard someone else calling the dog that's moving away from him, not to him, which is interesting, isn't it? Milo, pack it in. No, they've gone the other way. Yeah, if your dog runs when you're calling it, little hint there, if you're using its name, don't forget its name, it gives it excitement. If you're going to shout its name, whatever the activity it's doing, it's going to do it even more, right? If it was in a race and you shout its name, it's going to race even harder. That energy that you put into it. So if it's running away from you, don't shout the name. Isn't that right? Yes. So, yeah, you can shout. You're better off not shouting. Whistle. It's like, it's a different sound. You're like, hey, you're missing something. You need to be over here, guy. You use that kind of sound, which for me is just a whistle. So you all come to a whistle, or stop what they're doing to a whistle. So it's very easy. It's much easier. It's much easier than people will allow it to be. Live in the heart, it's simple. If you're going to live in your head, life is going to get complicated. It's the way it is. We don't have to overcomplicate things. We might be missing out on stuff. Right then, take care, have a lovely day.